You know, if you track it all the way back, I was the 11-year-old kid who had tried all kinds of things, and his parents were like, this kid's just not sticking with anything. I was picking dandelions out on the soccer field, and I'm not sure if my parents were really that excited that the thing that stuck was music.
Nick and I were in college together, and we actually took a class together called Music of Asia that we learned about a lot of different ethnic instruments, including the harmonium. We were in a band that kind of broke up, and then Nick and I started doing our own duo thing. And for a number of years, Nick and I toured, and I played harmonium, he was playing guitar, and every night people would ask us, what is that thing? What is that instrument? Where did you get that? Where can I get one? And it kind of snowballed from there.
In 2010, I decided to take the proceeds of a tax return check, along with some personal savings, and send it to a stranger in India in hopes that they would send to me some Indian instruments. What I didn't know when I did that was that what I would receive would not be so good. What I didn't understand then was that the instruments I was familiar with, the reason they were really good was because there were people like me between them and me who had taken some time and brought the instruments up to a really good standard. The process over there it's cottage industry. So it looks like manufacturing looked in our context, before factories. It's individual guys, makers in a shop, very small time, and they're just, one at a time putting these things together. So yeah, in the end, they're relatively simple instruments, but if you put them together poorly, you get a poor product, and if you put them together using the right materials, then you get a good harmonium. So what I've done now is I've gone direct to some manufacturers in order to start my own brand of harmonium, and I'm having those manufacturers, I'm having them build them properly, using solid wood and better reeds than what you're finding on the most popular harmoniums nowadays.
I remember in college when we were dating having these conversations about what life was going to look like, and Nick had this idea that he was going to work in corporate America. There was no other option, and I would try to convince him otherwise, or propose other options for our life. And it's scary for people. I mean, to give up a stable job and stable income, health insurance benefits, and retirement, and we get a lot of that with Nick having quit his university job. There's a lot of people who question, like, well, what about health insurance, and what about retirement, and these sorts of things. And I think it's something that we can do together, and that's always been a pretty important thing to us.
I'm not like a easy quitter, so when most people would have gotten that first shipment and said, well, this is garbage, and that's just my luck or something, I took it and figured out how to make it work out despite the fact that it wasn't perfect. And if people can learn anything from what I'm doing, I think the big learning lesson is it's absolutely not easy, but maybe totally worthwhile.